This video is about determining relevance when you're searching for information. And one thing that we talked about in class and that I showed in the last video is that when we start looking for information, first we brainstorm our research question for keywords. Then we start searching with those keywords. So I'm going to stay with the question that I had about therapy dogs. And what I decided for keywords that I would start with is therapy dogs. I want to know how therapy dogs help people with anxiety. So I'm going to start with the word therapy dogs and then start to think about and notice if my results are actually answering my question. And if they do, great, I'll find a way to save those. And if they don't, I maybe need to go back and revise the keywords that I'm using. So when I search with therapy dogs, I see that I get 4,900 different results. That's way too many results. I'm still too broad with my search, even though therapy dogs is a somewhat specific term. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second keyword and I'm going to use the word and in between them. So one thing I want to know about is therapy dogs. Another thing I want to know about is anxiety. So I'm going to search both of those together and see if I start to get the types of results I want. So one thing I notice is that instead of 4,900 results, I only have 180. So I have a lot less. That's good. That means I have less things to have to sort through. And now I can start looking at titles to see if I'm on the right track. So here's one that says bringing dogs to heel. Here's one that talks about benefits of canine or dog companionship for veterans with PTSD. That looks pretty good because I know that PTSD is a kind of anxiety disorder. Here's one that talks about animals and pediatric patients, so kids that are in the hospital. Here's one about a dentist that provides therapy dogs to comfort patients. And then here's one about therapy dogs and their role in schools. And so the next thing I would do is I would skim through some of these articles to see which ones might really work for me. So I have some titles that I think might work. Now I need to actually look at the article and decide for sure. So what I see in the summary here or in the abstract is that this article offers a look at the author's experience with a therapy dog in her school. The benefits of therapy dogs in education are presented, improving socialization, so kids getting along with each other, with their self-esteem, and it reduces anxiety in children. So this is an example that I might be able to use in how therapy dogs treat anxiety. There's also this one about dentist providing a therapy dog to comfort patients. So I'm going to look at that one. The dentist, his name is listed here, has many patients that are tense and anxious during dental treatments. Dental anxiety is very common. And so Dr. Berman says he's found another effective way to help patients relax, and that is a therapy dog. So there's another example that I could use to support or to answer my question. One other thing to remember, guys, if you're finding a result that's relevant, use the permanent link over here on the right, and then you can copy and paste that into a Google Doc and save it, and you can always come back to that article. One thing to watch out for when you're deciding if articles are relevant or not. Just because it shows up on my result list, it's not automatically relevant. Sometimes I'll actually find things that don't answer my question. So, for example, this article here, Noise Reactivities and Phobias in Dogs, that actually talks about dogs who have anxiety, not dogs that help people with anxiety. Same thing with number 8. These are scared cats and dogs, not dogs that help people who are scared. So you have to be a little bit careful with that. Determining relevance takes a lot of thinking. First, you have to think about the keywords you're going to use and the ways you use them. And then you have to actually read the titles and do some skimming and some fast reading of the article itself to make sure you're on the right track.